Okay, guys, if everyone can grab a seat. I might just get everyone pretty well close together so we can have a chat on the way through. First of all, we'd just like to welcome Brenton Sanderson here tonight. It's fantastic for him to come up for AFL Central Vic AFCA. It's really hard to get quality people like Brenton up here to do coaching sessions. At the same time, we're here to support the Bendigo Pioneers, give the Pioneers a quality training session. So Brenton will do his thing. He might refer to what he's doing at different times, but most of it, his focus will be on the session itself with the Pioneers. After the session, then we'll go inside and have something to eat, and then Brenton will take us through what he covered. Over to you.
Thanks, guys. Just back in here. You know what's going to happen? I reckon at times I'm going to blow the whistle without turning this off. So get ready to hold your ears. It's a really good debate. Tonight, I'm starting with a really low intensity start to the session. Typically at AFL level, there's a great argument about you should start training exactly how you start a game. So when I was coaching the Crows, we were really slow starters. They still are. They don't win many first quarters. So we went through a phase where we wouldn't do this sort of warm-up with the players. Wouldn't call this training yet. We'd use this as sort of a skill acquisition craft type build-up. But our first drill would be 100 miles an hour, because that's what the start of a game's like. What I'm going to talk about with the players now, and I'll leave this on while I talk to them, is about making every kick count and not using this session, this little drill, as an opportunity to get into some really bad habits. So I'll leave this on and I'll just talk to the boys. If I'm too loud, someone yell out to me and say, lower the mic or something. And when I blow the whistle, I'll hit the mute button. Okay, boys, hold it there. Hold your footies. All right, let's just take 2 or 3 steps back each. Now, legs should be warmed up. And one thing we spoke about earlier in the year, every single kick, every single minute of training counts. Now, if you're lazy with your action, you're going to make mistakes on game day. So I want you to pretend, or not pretend, I want you to act like every single kick is game-like that we're doing now, okay? So don't lean back on your kicks. Don't just don't just fall away when you kick it. From now, we're going to start training right now. There's a really good debate. I just said to the coaches on the side, when I was coaching Adelaide, we didn't start games that well. We didn't win too many first quarters. So when we came out of the sheds, we'd start training like games started. 100 miles an hour. A lot of mistakes. Our first drill would be a really up and down the ground, high intensity type drill. At this age, what you guys need is to really work on your kicking, your craft. So kicking is the fundamental skill of this game. When I was a senior coach, I used to tell the recruiting staff, kicking's getting worse and worse from the young players coming up. So it's going to spend 5 minutes now refining the skill fundamentals. All right, so that's just your basic hand or foot. Now I don't want you to miss. What I want you to do is with your partner, kick in the box. So from your sort of waist, straight up the side, straight across your shoulders. Every ball's got to hit in there, okay? Away you go. Just do it for 2 or 3 minutes. Here we go. Every kick counts. So we're not talking about what you did on the weekend. We're not talking about school today. We're focusing on training 100% now. Ball shouldn't hit the ground in this. This is just the fundamentals. We're going to gradually build up. Focus on every kick. Okay, guys, hold it there. Hold the footies. Just take a couple of steps back each. Now a little bit more game-like. Drop the footy on the ground. What I want you to do now is take 2 or 3 steps back. Just want you to accelerate, pick the ball up, and within 3 steps, I want you to hit your partner. Same thing, you know where you're trying to aim. All right? Away you go. A few balls starting to hit the ground now. This is a bit more game-like, starting to build up the intensity. Remember, maximum 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, pull the trigger. Still balls on the deck, that's okay, happens in a game. Is that too loud, coaches? Am I yelling too loud? No. Okay, hold it there. Just looking at me for a sec, boys. I know not all of you can hear me. It's a little bit too much movement with the footy, some of you, with your basic fundamentals, with your technique. So a lot of you, when you pick the ball up, there's a lot of stuff going on with swaying the ball around. So a lot of guys, what's really common is a lot of guys take the footy out of their left pocket, if they're right footers, and bring it across their body, drop on their right foot. What I want you to get the habit of doing, and as you pick it up, is try not to let the footy move around too much. And the next point is, you should almost kick the footy out of your hand. You know, you see a lot of still photos of players, and the ball's sort of hovering from about that height, and their hands are already off the ball, and the footy's still about there. There's a lot of things can go wrong with your drop from there to there. So I want you to just, for the next couple of minutes, pick the ball off the ground, not too much movement, and almost kick the footy out of your hands. This hand comes off, but think of Gary Ablett. When Gary Ablett kicks the ball, he's almost kicking it out of his hand like that. Does that make sense? It's going to feel a bit awkward at the start. All that's got to mean is you've got to lean a little bit more forward, and you're going to drop the ball just a little bit later. And the guys that are swaying it around, keep it a bit more still. Much easier to hit a target that's still rather than the footy that's moving around. Too much room for error. Just try for another 2 minutes. Let's have a look now. Less movement. Still keep the speed though. Almost kick the footy out of your hand. Now these are the mistakes that you would have been making 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And unfortunately, they've become habit. We've got to get rid of that habit. This will feel a bit unnatural at the start, a bit like changing a golf swing. Just looking for more control with the footy. Good, Tommy. Good, boys. Hold there again. We're going to go back to the right foot in a second. I know this is not your favourite thing to do. But think of Sam Mitchell. We're going to practice some left footers. Now, I don't want you to practice straight left footers. Because in a game, if you're running straight at your teammate, you kick on your natural leg, on your right leg, right foot. So I just want you to practice for a couple of minutes. You can just stand fairly still at the start, and then just 4 or 5 quick steps to your left if you're a right footer, and pull the trigger. So it might just be standing still, then just 4 or 5 steps, and then put it onto your left foot, still hit your teammate. The reason, because that's what happens in a game. Like I said, you're never going to stand perfectly still and kick a left footer to your teammate. You'd go on your right. If you watch tennis players practice, yeah, they do the basic forehand and backhand, but they also practice a lot of those low balls, high balls, reaching ones, because that's what happens in a game. Same with you boys. Left footers are mostly 3 or 4 steps out of trouble and trying to hit your target. Now there's going to be mistakes, don't worry about it. And you've got a bit of a crowd tonight, don't worry. But you must practice your non-preferred side, coming out of a little bit of pressure. Okay? See how you go, 2 minutes. Try and go a bit more lateral and kick it around your body. Good. Beautiful. Boys, this is really good. Really sharp. Good, so you've had your kicks. Now typically at the end of training too, if you've got time, we'll spend a bit more time on the fundamentals, which we're going to do a little bit later on. Now we spoke just before, 3 things we're going to focus on tonight. We're going to talk defense more than what we've probably ever spoken about before. Okay, we're going to talk about, well, now that we're starting training, we're going to be really loud. We're not just the guys that are always loud, the young men that never talk at training, tonight you're going to talk. It's going to be a real buzzy session, right? We've got about 45 minutes from now, that's all we're going to do. But it's going to buzz. It's going to be good energy out here. Okay, and what was the 3rd thing we spoke about tonight? Yeah, mentioned that. Communication. What did you mention, Kobe? Defensive communication. Yeah, and we're going to go flat out. We're going to go flat out from now. Okay? Don't ask for acquisition. From now, we're going to go flat to the boards. Now, what I've set up here, and if you watch AFL now, this is all the game is the size of that square there. That's where the game is. Sometimes it's going to swear then. Sometimes there's 36 players in the size of that square. Not really, but it feels like there's 36 players in the size of that square. I've set up 5 grids. I want 4v2 inside the grid. We're going to go 30 seconds of just handball with 30 seconds rest. So that gives you time to swap over the bibs and get set up again. There'll be a coach per square, and if there's a mistake or whatever, the ball hits the ground, you'll just have a bit of he'll just throw the ball back in and get reset. Just keep rolling. I'll blow the whistle after 30 seconds. We're losing my voice. Does that make sense? Now, all we're going to do, the reason we're doing this is because I won't tell you what you're going to do wrong. We'll wait till you make the mistake, and then we'll tell you. We'll see how you go. 6 per grid. Get a footy per grid. I'll turn this off now. Okay, there's going to be mistakes. The ball's going to hit the ground. Doesn't matter. That's what happens in a game. If we trained all nice and there was no mistakes, you wouldn't win on the weekend. All right, 30 seconds. Hold by the whip.
Seconds. One more, then we'll talk some coaching. One more, then we're going to coach.
Okay, what did we learn? Hands up, first of all, let's talk about defense first. What did we learn about defense? What mistakes were we making in defense? Yeah, sometimes overcommitting, good. Excellent. Really common at AFL level as you go up through the standards, but even more common as you go down second tier, third tier footy. So what that means, now this is a bit hard. Say you two guys are the defenders, right? So you two guys go over there. You stand here. Give us the footy. Now, what normally happens is, as the ball's in the air going to this guy, you catch it, is normally the two defenders both go to where the footy is. So Tommy, what's your name? Will, you both come in. Happens at AFL level all the time as well, is you get two going to one. Now, if this player's quick enough to get his handball released, on the outside of the contest, we've got three free players. Now, defensively, what the really good teams do, and if you watch Hawthorn, Fremantle, those sort of teams, Tommy, we'll just step out a little bit now, is what might happen is, it's really hard to, I mean, this is like The Matrix, the movie, where everything happens in slow motion, but in the perfect world here, what might happen is Will would actually shape into the, who's got the ball carrier, where he's sort of still guarding this guy, but he's coming really hard in, and Tommy would sort of be in that next level, that next wave, and sort of guarding two. Now you hear AFL players say, like, or in rugby they say a lot too, where the guy says, "I've got ball." Now it's really, that's a long sentence to say in a game of footy, but what you sort of get a bit of a feel for is just let one guy pressure the ball carrier, and Tommy can try to guard those two. All right? Make sense? We'll try it when we go back out in a second. So that's the most important thing defensively, and it happens at underage footy all the time. Is you go flying into this guy, and he'll just lift his arms and handball over the top to 41, back over to 20, out to 15. So you've got to try and work together in defence. That's really important. You know the other thing we do too much? Let's talk offence. What mistakes do we make in offence? Besides basic skill errors, what's the mistake we make in offence in this drill? Spot on. So Tommy comes at me. I've got a free player there, but it just feels cool, it feels great, just to try and get around Tommy, trying to make him dodge me or miss me. I'm telling you, you'll get embarrassed at AFL level. First thing you got to do, Tommy, go back again, is as Tommy's coming towards me, if I've got a free player, it's just handball to him. Will, you go to him. You handball to 20. Straight away, handball to 41. Straight away, handball to another 2. These guys don't know, they can't do anything. Now, when it's 4v2, really, the ball should just flick around the square. You guys wouldn't even have to move. Because speed of ball, this ball moves faster than you can run if you flick it around quick enough. It's really hard to coach out of players, is that whole thing about how great it feels to be able to dodge and weave and get out of trouble. You all want to be, everyone wants to be Dustin Martin, just big and strong and push everyone away. But speed of ball, fast release handball will beat it every time. Go back in your grids. We're going to do another 2 or 3, then we'll come back in for another chat. All right, so get rolling again, still flat out. It's been a really good start. Swap the bibs. Nick.
30 seconds on, you ready? Go boys, pick, what's up? Ready? Triple H, look at this. Awesome. Defenders work together. Good.
Okay, what else did we learn from that drill? Last 3 reps you did. Come in nice and close. What was hard for the defenders? Defenders, the times that you were in there, what made it really hard for you? Yeah, when the ball's moving around. We spoke about that a bit before. Really hard to defend. What else was hard to defend for you? Yeah, when there's actual movement as well. Now, I said to you to pull out, get some width, and you wouldn't even have to move, and you should be able to keep the ball moving pretty quickly. I should have re-emphasised or emphasised the point. I don't want you actually to stand still though. Think of AFL players constantly moving around the contest. If Gary Ablett goes to a stoppage and stands still, he's a sitting duck. Always be on the move, always be moving around your opponent, getting in front of him, pushing him around, getting behind him for the next one. Shove him under the contest. Same in these tight areas. Look for ways to try and get in and get out of contested ball situations. Because that's the modern game now. You've got to be really good in this sort of space with almost this much congestion. You've got to be able to get the ball and burst out. That's why we hit those left footers. There's pressure there. I'm a right footer. I've got to take 3 or 4 quick steps to the left and pull the trigger. You've got to be really good at that. Okay. Next drill we're going to do is we'll set up a pretty big rectangle. It's probably 40 by 50 metres. And we're going to set up 7v7 inside this rectangle. But with, and I've got, I'll get one, somewhere I've got 2, where are the orange bibs on? Yeah, here. We're going to have, guys, orange. Now he's always attacking. Remember we did this earlier in the year? So it's actually 8v7 all the time. So let's say the yellow team have got it. This guy who's the red, he's actually the swinger. He's part of the yellow offensive team. If there's a turnover and it goes to the navy blues, orange guy, he's still attacking. He's got the best job in the world. He's just never defending. Now, why are we doing 8v7 all the time? Let's have a guess. It's all about the defensive communication. The game no longer is just playing man on man all game. You never play on the same opponent unless you're like a ruckman and you're playing the same guy the whole game. You're always constantly going to the most dangerous offensive player. So what you got to do, if I'm on this guy and he's more dangerous, I actually leave and I go to this guy. You don't even really think about it, you just do it. And the next guy in the chain, he leaves his opponent and does the same thing. He picks up him. The whole thing just keeps shifting. You guys should be playing this way already. How we used to play back in the old days was I'd start my man for the whole time, and if he was free, I'd say, I wonder where his opponent is. He'd get the ball, he'd kick a goal, and we'd all go, we'll pick him up. Why don't you just get on him? The game's changed. You now keep rolling over to the most dangerous all the time. The whole thing just keeps rotating. Okay, does that make sense? So what we're going to do, in each grid, in this grid here, we'll have 7 yellows versus 7 blues with 1 swinger. And on the grid on the other side, there'll be 7 yellows, 7 greens, and 1 swinger. I'll get you to take over that one. If you're in a different coloured jumper, maybe the guy's in light blue, you should put a bib on. I reckon when you get, otherwise it's going to get confusing. So guy in red, you should always be in a bib. Just so it's always yellows versus blues, and over there it's yellows versus greens. Okay, it's kicking, pay marks, okay, pay marks, but you can handball as well, and it's non-directional. You just keep the ball alive. The boundaries are obviously shown by the centre square across here and this boundary. All right, so this is the modern game, 8v7 with this lucky guy always attacking. Make sense? So let's get, we need 15 players over there, 15 players here. And you should put a bib on, maybe swap with Tommy. Yeah, if you've got a light blue on, put a bib on. We might have lost, did we lose someone, did we lose a couple of, after the first drill? Too many players over there? All I want you to do is keep the ball alive. If there's a turnover though, I'll call it. I'll call turnover, give it straight to the other team, and this lucky fella here, he just keeps attacking the whole time. Don't worry, we'll keep swapping the swinger. All right? Remember we're looking at your communication defensively? And if you keep rolling over to different opponents, here we go. Yep, actually I'll start with it. I've got the ball. Kick that out of the way. You don't know who's got it, all right? Ready?
Yellow ball, bring up the mark. Roll over, Jaffa. Roll up, roll up.
Time.
How many handballs you had? 0. How come? Did I say you could handball? Yep.
How can we do it better? Boys? Guys come in, and then I'll swap over groups. How can we do it better? Yeah, get some handball receives. You're actually defending pretty well, but when you're free, you've got to let your teammates know you're free. And if I'm with you, you go over there, you're free. If he's coming with me defensively, I should be yelling at the kicker, he's free, he's free, he's free, he's free. You go to him. Now, as he's coming to you, what are you saying? Yep, I'm the free man now. I'm free, quick. The defense has got to keep changing over, keep rolling. It's been pretty good so far. You've actually handled this drill pretty well. I know we did this earlier in the year. And there's some good communication about rolling over and rolling up. Just go back out again. I want you to try and keep the ball flowing though, not just all kick, mark, kick, mark, kick, mark. Let's get some handball, break the game open, get some width, get some length. Let's try it again, and then I'm going to swap over groups.
Okay, blue ball. Where's the frame? Push up. Work, Colin. Down the field. Play the mark. Down the frame.
Okay, in you come. Good. Hey boys, that was good. Excellent. Now what you're trying to do, in those situations where you feel like you've got an outnumber defensively, try and make them kick the ball as far as they can. Okay? The reason being is because the longer the ball's in the air, the more distance those further players can get to actually intercept the ball. You did it really well. So what happens is, if their free is about 40 metres away, you're really smart. The defender who was trying to guard two just stood in between it. It meant the player had to kick the ball long and high, and that was aiding the defender to actually come across and intercept. It's really good. So in a game, shut off all the short ones. All AFL clubs talk about now is that short 45 kick. They're trying to break the first line of the opposition's defence. That's all they're trying to do. Break that first line. That's why every team now is so aggressive with how they press up. All right? Every team is so aggressive, they're trying to cut off every short 45-metre kick. Even when sides switch it back to the open side of the ground, everyone just presses up, presses up, presses up. They're trying to stop the short ones. You guys did that really well. I was expecting you all just to stay with your opponents, and we'd always just keep finding the free. It was good. Shut off the short ones, make them kick long, and then all you guys can really press there to cover it off. All right, we're going to do another 4 or 5 minutes. I'm just going to go coach that group for a minute. Swap the swinger, so you go give that to another yellow, and keep rolling. All right, back of your leg though. If your mechanics are good and you can trust your skill by foot, you should be able to get off the mark and just pull the trigger. One step kick, it's gone. If you've got lots of little skill things that you play around with, the opposition can read it and they'll shut off that guy before you can get a chance to kick it. Okay, it was really good. The coach will come back over here, swap the yellow. I'll get the coach over here and we'll kick long.
Wait for the coach. Wait for the coach.
I think he's talking, isn't he? It's only 23.
You got a spare battery there, just
Just next to the tape there.
Get there, Jess, we're in the middle of them. Fly on! Riley!
Good boys. Go grab a drink. I forgot about getting you a drink. Grab a drink. Meet you back here. Do it sharp.
Boys did that really well. Okay, now I said it to this group, I haven't said it to the far group yet. Everything now in the modern game is back off the mark, and every club, no matter what level you're playing at, is trying to just break the first line of the opposition's defence. So that's why everything's so aggressive now with that full press. Group on the far side, the green bibs versus yellows, did it fantastic. They were shutting up everything short. You're trying to force the opposition to kick long to a contest. When you're watching an AFL game, anytime you'll see clubs looking for the short one, anytime you see them go long down the line, that's a bit of a win for the defence. That's a win, because you've shut off everything short. And you've shut off the switch and go. Why do they kick it to the long and wide to the boundary? Yeah, they kick it to a protected attacking position. That's why, and you hear the commentators say, why do they kick it so wide? The reason they kick it at AFL level wide to the boundary is because if the opposition get it, it's really hard to get it back for a goal to get punished by score by turnover. That's why they don't kick it long to a contest in the middle of the ground, because if the opposition do get it, you don't have to go through as many people to get a goal that way. It's really frustrating for the crowd, spectators that go watch, and decide to bail out to the boundary, but it's a protected attacking position. You guys are getting much sharper already with your defensive communication. So that the greens on the other side there were fantastic. They just kept rolling over to the most dangerous. What you've got to get really good at is as you leave, is telling the next guy to come. As soon as one guy in the chain breaks down, the opposition get it. So if I roll and then the next guy rolls, but then the third guy stays with his man, gets nervous, that's when the free target pops up. You want to try and leave the free player as far away from the ball as you can. Just keep rolling up. Press. Okay? Now, we started training with some just skill fundamentals, some basic kicking. All right, so you've had your kicks tonight. You've all touched the footies plenty of times. Then we did some small games, which is contested ball situations, winning your own ball, fast release handball, 4v2 handball game. We then opened up medium-sized game, a lot more longer kicking, sort of medium kicking, bit of handball, and some defensive decisions in that sort of first band of defence. Now to finish training, or before we do a bit of craft stuff, we're just going to go up and down the ground, 15v15. All right, so I'll start the ball somewhere. Now that's where we need actually, if you've got a bib on, I want you to run over, put it on the boundary in a second, run over, put it on the boundary and swap it for a bright yellow one. There's a bright yellow one there. So we're going to have 15 on 15. Doesn't really matter where you go, there's no positions. Just going to see if we can transition the ball up and down the ground. And then I'm going to change it. I'm going to throw some different scenarios at you. So I'm just going to finish with some good, open, fast running, plenty of space, plenty of room to run and bounce, find free targets. All right, so we've only got about 7 minutes of training to go. Good chance now to really open up and hit the afterburners. If you've got a bib on, go and look for an orange. Then oranges, you're going to kick to, which way is that? Is that north, south, east or west? That way? Kicking that way. Kicking south. Kicking to the Melbourne City end. I reckon that's Melbourne. That way is New South Wales. All right, so orange, you're kicking that way. Yellows, you're kicking that way. Let's get 15 on 15. Actually, you boys that had the bibs on, what were you? Yeah, you were the swingers. Why don't you count them for me? How many you got there with orange? Okay, you take them off. You're the yellows. Okay, come back in. Oh, what's that? How many you got, orange? Orange. 14v14. What we'll do is we're going to go 3/4 ground. Okay, so I've changed my mind. You're both going that way. Okay, so it's yellow and orange, both going that way. How it works though is orange, you're going to go first. You're going to have the ball in that goal square. You've got to get the ball to me at centre half back, and then the same orange team goes back towards those goals. So yellows, you're defending the whole time here. Okay? Defending the whole time. Orange, before you make the mistake, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do this well, you reckon? What's the key to this working? Is it 14v14? What's the key to this working well from offense? To stop them getting it. Space and movement, good. What else? Blocks, good. What else? Yep. Hit the targets, communication. What else in offense? Yep. Run hard. What you're going to try and do is spread them out. Get width. Look how much space you got. Width, length, create space. Crossover, block for each other. We've said it already. Pull the trigger on your kicks. Get some overlap run. But if you all try and get the first kick from full back here, you're all going to be in one little area and they're going to find it really easy to defend it. All right? Yellows, if you get it, congratulations, well done. Just get back on the mark, give it back to orange, and they'll start again. Wherever the ball is, they'll just start again. We'll see if we can go clean to me, clean back for a goal. All right, you kick it in. Hand marks. Full pressure. We're going to go 7 minutes flat out. Orange is going to, on my whistle. Put this on so the coaches can hear. Yellows, good defense. Yellow, how come they were easy to defend? What's that? Yep. How wide do they go? Wide and slow and safe and boundary. One handball, I counted. One handball. Kicking wasn't bad. There was a few mistakes. But you were too easy to defend. No one worked together. We talked about blocking, no one blocked. Everyone just tried to get a lick of the ice cream. Everyone just ran in, and I heard a few guys saying, pull out, pull out, pull out. I'm going to try something now. Where's Will? He kicked in before, didn't he? Who kicked in? Yep. Okay, I want Will to go kick in, and I want one of the yellows to go up on his mark, and I want every single other orange to go stand on the boundary line. Okay? Then I'll turn this off and I'll yell so everyone can hear. Oranges, yes, both boundary lines spread right out. Do whatever you want.
Run out, Orange. Run out. I want you to be on the boundary line. Yellow, orange, orange. Go, come there. Boundary line. One on there. Get a confusion now. These yellows are sort of, well, we're going to zone. Two of the yellows are sort of middle man. That's called width. That's extreme width. Look at that. So much space here in the middle. Now let's move it up. You can go wherever you want now, Orange. One more.
Now listen, that was extreme, okay? So what we tried to do then was emphasise a point. That's what width is. That's what width is. That creates so much space if you spread the defence, if you get width. If we did full ground, if we had enough numbers, we'd then do length as well. I would have sent 3 or 4 or 5 oranges right down almost in the goal square. There would have been all this space in the middle of the ground. So in offence, when you feel like you're getting a bit clogged up, you can actually call, get width, is get guys out, because that drags the defence out as well. It actually creates really juicy holes for the offensive team to run into and run out of. You don't run in there and stand there, you actually run in and get out. Let the next guy come in. It creates some opportunities, some confusion for the defence to think, what do? Do we go man them up? Do we zone them? Do we press up? who's got who. I was hoping that we might get a bit of crossover, but that's what width is. Orange, this is the last one. We've got a bit over time. We'll just do yellow. You're going to now bring it in to me and bring it back. Orange, you've had a go at attacking. Let's see how you defend now. Last one I'm going to do. All right, someone kick in for me.
All the yellows in here. Yellows. Orange, you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, excellent training. Just one thing I wanted to emphasise then, when the attacking team was coming down, yellows were coming down the ground, is too often is we run down and congest our own forward line. So that's another example where we see creating space is if the yellow team have got the ball here, I can actually wait, hopefully drag my opponent out and leave the space there inside forward 50. If I keep running in there and everyone keeps running down, we've got no space. So see if you can drag your man out. What about, so you just go and stand there. Brett, you go on his mark. Tom, you go stand in the space. So Tommy's there for the opposition. The best way that I can get him out of the space is how? Just walk in, or jog in, engage him. So I'll jog down, and then I'll just hit up on him. Yep. That drags Tommy out. Now, whether he kicks the ball to me or not, Tommy's got to try and take the bait, make a decision whether he takes the bait. If I get dangerous, there's that big juicy hole again of space. So leave that space for your teammates to work in. Now, we haven't got enough time, but typically how we'd finish a session now is we broke off into smaller groups and we'd work on skill acquisition. So we might do some ground balls, quick release. Another group might do some aerial stuff, some turning your body in the air marking contests, some contested marking, or the breakdown drills. And we'd probably have some set shots for goal to finish off training. We might do 3 lots of 5-minute rotations. Smaller groups, lots of coaching, just finishing off training with a couple of little things that make you better with the fundamentals. All right? So summary, we worked on your kicking, just fundamental art of kicking better. we did some 3 or 4 step left foot release. Then we did the modern game, contested ball, in a tight contest, handball games. Open it up, 7v7 with a swinger, always trying to find a free. And then some full ground stuff at the end just to get you blowing and help you with some of the open field stuff. Reading the game, trying to create space, width and length. Normally now we finish off with some breakdown drills. Okay, smaller groups, lots of coaching, working on some areas that you need to focus on. Ground balls, goal kicking, marking. That's enough for me though, Brett. That's probably too much for a main training night. 1 hour max is the most we normally do. Keep you nice and sharp, but you should have gone flat out tonight. That's good, boys train really well. Much better than when I was here earlier in the year, Brett. Yeah, you'll be fine. They're all coming inside, aren't they, afterwards, the boys? Yeah. So guys, as you probably heard me just say then, we'd normally finish off with some breakdown drills, where that's the art of coaching, is getting the guys in smaller groups and working on the fundamentals. So ground balls, quick release, some tackling, set shots, whatever you need to do. 4 or 5 coaches, 4 or 5 rotations. That's probably the best way to finish off the session. As always, I went a bit too long, but yeah, that's I guess the fundamentals of. And hopefully it all came through with the audio, what we're trying to get out of tonight. I reckon one of the mistakes we make now with free training is, and at AFL level we're really lucky because we've got lots of staff and we've got uni students who take stats now at training, can you believe it? A lot of coaches now have an earpiece with kicking efficiency and who hasn't touched the ball enough during sessions coming down through it. It's crazy. But we got to the point where too much structure, too much strategy, not enough actually touching the footies. So I reckon tonight, each player would have at least touched the footy 45, 50 times, at least. In all those little handball drills, the kicking at the start, even the 7v7 with the swinger, they would have touched the balls a lot tonight. You can't get better at footy unless you're actually touching the ball. We focus too much now on where you should be positioning at stoppage, kick-ins, all that sort of stuff. In that last drill, they wouldn't have touched it much. But that's a chance just to do a bit of open field coaching, I guess. That's where I reckon now, I would have loved if we had time to do some little breakdown drills of some fundamental stuff. Even goal kicking. I didn't say it in there, but I always finish off every drill with someone having a shot. Last time I was up here, we did like 400s if the guy missed. So guys, because you have to replicate anxiety at training that you get on match day. So whoever took the last mark, I said, okay, have a shot. And if you miss, we're all doing the 400. And all of a sudden, the players are all exactly like the MCG on a Friday night. So if you can replicate match anxiety on the track by, and you might threaten them by doing stuff that you might not pull the trigger on it, but yeah. Questions in there or questions here?